Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another podcast today. And today's going to be a little bit different again. But starting next week, we will be having guests. So I have some guests lined up for the following podcast. So that way we can all, get a little bit more engaging, so this way you guys don't get too bored of just myself. But all in all, shout out to everybody for coming in. Uh Mac, Big O, Keith for coming in. AMI Detail, Becca, thank you all for tuning in. And yeah, so today will be more chingy blingy. So first things first is more of today's story will be more on why detailing, and pretty much the story I've never told to anybody or pretty much anyone, not even really in any interview per se. And then also what's going on, Conway, Tanner, Rick Smith, Victor, so on, Ulysses, yo, what's going on? Thank you. But yeah, today's going to be that type of story, why detailing, and why I chose that route, and how did I end up finding out that I wanted to do it as a business afterwards. But before we get started, just a quick note. Bruce, that won the $250 giveaway last week, said to do it to run it again. So I am going to run the $250 giveaway from last week, and we will pick a new winner. And I will just present this right now. Let me just share my screen. That's that. Bam. This is so you know that's from last week. So I'm going to remove, and no other entries. I checked the comments again if there were any new entries. No new entries. So what we will do is just let this fly, and whoever wins, good luck to all. Bam, 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 bam. Let's see. And the winner is Remedy Auto Detailing. So Remedy Auto Detail official. Congratulations. You won the 250. Just make sure you email me. I will put my email down below. Let me see if I could stop sharing the screen. And yeah, so let me put this right down here. Bam. So just the winners. Just make sure you put just email me, so that way you get the 250. So all in all, let's get started, and just put your questions mid chat or midstream. I will be answering them in between. If you guys want to hear any other stuff, or any specific details that you want me to get into. So first off, how did I get into detailing, and why detailing specifically? And all in all, I enjoy detailing cars. I just found out it was just fun to do, especially when my father used to do it a bunch of times, and I used to help him when he had this 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee. And I'm 30 years old, but when my dad got the Jeep Grand Cherokee, I was like 6, 7 years old. And all in all, he used to watch it almost every other weekend. Now, as obviously when time progressed, I started to notice that he wasn't doing the safe method, but at the end of the day, his paint was always pristine. He will clay bar and do a wax. He will get the McGuire wax or turtle wax um, at the AutoZone, and just, polish it and remove the contamination. So the paint was always in immaculate shape. Um, and from there, I used to help him like every other weekend since I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. And then once I hit high school, I ended up having my own hobbies afterwards. And from there was more of, so I can't give away this gift card for nothing. What you mean? But yeah, so anyways, so yeah, so I used to help my pops constantly, just washing this vehicle, doing this stuff. And then once I got 14, pretty much in high school, I had my own hobby. And I used to play baseball, and also used to yeah, that's about it. Just mainly baseball. That was my sport in high school. And then from there, I stopped detailing. And then when I was 19 years old, um, Lord and behold, I ended up getting my first car. And And the car that was ended up being mine was my pop's 1999 Grand Cherokee. So from there was I would wash it, detail it, and that's it. Fast forward 2018, 2017. Um, my pops got a new car. He had a Nissan Rogue, 2017 at the time. And then I said, you know what? Let me start detailing. Let me see what this world is about. We have YouTube, we have all this stuff. And I started watching Pan's videos and Junkman's videos with the Rag Company. And it at the time it was literally only Levi. And then in between there will be Dan, I think it was Dan Williams and Ivan when they were with Optimum at the time. And that's how I ended up just diving deep into detailing, finding out rinseless washes, this, that. But I didn't buy into the rinseless wash technology at the time. It was just more of like, oh, they have a whole bunch of products. Um, and then from there was I just ended up buying stuff online instead of doing the AutoZone stuff. And I was getting most of the stuff. Obviously, everybody ran into the chemical guy. So that's the first thing I tried because that's the first video that popped up. And that's always had the most views. And that's what pretty much everyone gravitates to. And I grabbed pretty much almost all of like the chemical lines. I grabbed all that stuff and that's it. No polishing, no nothing, just detailing, just wash, clay bar max, put at the time was double well, what was that thing called? LV07. And yeah, that was the chemical guys. And then that's about it, really. And that's all I did. And from there was just maintaining the vehicle. Fast forward 2019, that's when I started getting more into, all right, let me start doing this as a business. Let me start polishing. And that's when I have the Civic that you all see in my videos. That's my current vehicle. And I was it was winter time and I said, you know what, let me take it to the car wash. Winter time comes, take it to the car wash. What does the car wash do? I get my car back. I see swirls and scratches like crazy. Not I know the brushes will cause swirls and scratches, but these were more of like you can tell somebody dropped the towel, grabbed some dirt or gravel, was wiping it on the paint because my glass had scratches on it. And at the time, I was just detailing for friends and family. Um, and then from there, I said, I need to polish this paint. So I went over to a body shop because that's the first thing that came into mind. I said, let me go to a detail shop and a body shop because these scratches look pretty deep. So first I went to the body shop and they said, oh, we got to repaint these couple panels. And for the glass was, we got to replace the glass. There are some deeper scratches, but I ended up finding a way to polish most of it out and get rid of those deep scratches on the glass. And yeah, so I bought the polishing kit, and the first polishing kit I bought was, of course, Chemical Guys. I tried their whole V line from V32 to V37, V38, whatever it was, and that's what I use. Dust like crazy. First time I used it, I'm using it. Didn't like it. I went straight to AutoZone right away, and I ended up getting McGuire's no, I ended up getting Griot's Garage. I'm sorry. I ended up getting Griot's Garage, complete compound, the yellow one. I ended up getting that. And then from there, I ended up going straight to Home Depot because the polisher I had was a sander. It was a sander from my pops and it just wasn't working. And I ended up going to Home Depot and I got the Makita PX zeros or 6,000, whatever the thing was. It was a crappy DA. It was like a 8 millimeter dual action, and you had like a option for force rotation. And yeah, so that's how I ended up doing my first polishing session. I looked like a complete idiot trying to polish. I even have a slight clip of me actually doing like a part of the car, and everything was just like it wasn't spinning. I didn't have the pad fully on the paint. It was like all on an angle. And it was just my first time. I just said, you know what? I took took me and my wife about a whole day to do that car. And again, my car. And that was our first time ever polishing. And we made it happen. And that's the first time I put a ceramic coating, which I ended up putting Carpro UK 3.0. And I ended up buying it because I was watching Pan's videos, and that's what he had on his old BMW that he had. He had the Carpro, because obviously I couldn't get the Optimum at the time because he had the Optimum coat that Ivan put on. But before he put the Optimum one, he did have the actual Carpro 3.0, and that's phenomenal one. And exactly, Eddie, shout out to the 4-step paint correction. I didn't do all 4 steps. I did like the first 2. It was just super dusty, super annoying, and I gave up. It just was drying up on me, and that's about it. But yeah, so that's it. Once I found out that I was doing pretty good at it, and I was getting good at the detailing. I detailed my pop's Nissan Rogue again, the 2016, 2017 Nissan Rogue that he got. I ended up polishing that vehicle. And then from there, he went to work one day, and all his co-workers was like, "Yo, did you get a new car? Um, this looks so shiny, so glossy." I ended up putting CarPro 3.0 as well on his vehicle. And that's it. Comes over. A couple of friends call me, and they say, "Oh, how much would you want to do this detail?" And the price my wife and I charge, and this was so this is what nobody knows. At the time, our very, very first car was a Volkswagen, first legit like customer, and we're like, okay, we charge $500. We charge $500, and my wife and I did a complete 2-step, and and it took us about 2 days to do, because again, we sucked at polishing. We couldn't finish down. It was looking a little bit hazy, and we were using the Griot's Garage complete compound. And this is later in 2020 during COVID. And because remember, 2019 winter was when they scratched my car, and then COVID hit, and then that's when I ended up starting to actually polish and start getting into like true detailing as a business. So the first customer comes, we did that. I ended up using McGuire's Ultimate Compound, and then their Ultimate Polish. Car came out phenomenal, beautiful. It took my wife and I 2 days to do. Amazing. Charged $500. Um, second week comes around, and my other pops friend, again, this is during COVID, so everybody's at home, and a lot of people had time because my pops was just going to work probably like once every 2 days or whatever, and then everybody had days off. And then after that, another car comes over, and we did a Lexus GX. What's that? Not the G. Is it the GX? The huge SUV one. And it took my wife and I 3 days, and that's the first time I've ever burned through paint. And I charged again the same price, was 500. That is my first time I legit burned paint. I ended up grabbing one of the Griot's Garage microfiber pads. And at the time, I didn't truly know better. I always thought that you can remove pretty much any deep scratch in there. So I ended up grabbing the Ultimate Compound and just grinding in there with the polisher. And I'm like, oh, it's getting lighter. The scratch is going away, and I burned straight through that paint. That's the first time, and I'm freaking out. I go over to AutoZone, grab a spray bottle of Duplicolor, the thing, try to get the match paint. I spray it on. I even told the owner straight up too, like as I did, I said, I don't know if I could do this. And yeah, burned through the paint, went through all the steps. Car looked horrendous. That part looked horrendous. Car came out amazing, coated everything. Everything else came out just fine. And the owner was awesome enough. He ended up just paying. He just said, "Look, the whole car looks fantastic. You just burned through like it was the A pillar on the vehicle," and he just ended up paying. He just said, I'll take care of it," and he just paid me straight up. He paid the full thing. He said, "Look, you took your time," and it was the most annoying part was that A pillar that I burned was literally the last part of the detail. My wife and I did the 2-step everywhere else. Once we got up to that part, just that area, I said, I can make this perfect. And that's when I found out that perfection isn't a thing. And even though he paid us 500, I was getting more customers. Again, I was only charging $500, my wife and I, to do 2 steps. And we were just killing ourselves. It would take us 2 days to do. We weren't efficient. It was just our learning basis on how to get better. And that's when I found out that I truly end up liking detailing. And the reason why the question pops up of what I said is why detailing? That's when my wife and I found out the gratitude that we had and um how effective detailing is to the customers aspect of just transforming the vehicle. Every time they will come in for a deep interior detail or we started upscaling the service. Obviously, we were still charging bottom dollar, and we will work X amount of hours because we weren't efficient. The Just seeing the customer's face was one of the most gratifying things to see. Just watching them just say, "Wow, my car looks new again. This looks amazing." And the whole process was also enjoyable. It was like a peace of mind of just it's just you, yourself, the car, and knowing this satisfaction that you're gonna give the customer once they pick up the vehicle. That's one of the most gratifying things of detailing, and that's why my wife and I ended up just love. It's like we just love doing it at that point. We just said, this is actually fun. It doesn't feel like work. Yes, our body was tired because we weren't efficient, and were we profitable? No, but that's the whole learning step of um doing something that you love. And that's what ended up just being just a phenomenal aspect of detailing. And then yeah, so that's that's pretty much everything in a nutshell on the reason why my wife and I got into detailing. And it was just more of the finding that passion and just understanding that you really like doing it and it just doesn't become work anymore. It's more of just peace of mind. I didn't have to answer to anybody. My wife obviously didn't need to answer to anybody either. We obviously are a collective group and we make choices together. But all in all, it was more of just, you know, this is what it is. And from there, fast forward later in 2020, that's when I asked Ivan for a coaching call, or like the end of 2020 or early 2021. Ivan was at the time, I think, with War Ceramics at the time. And I just asked for a coaching call, not even a ceramic coating to get on board or whatever. Just he just had a coaching call, and I called him. He called me. He said, "Take pictures of your shop. What is your process? What is this?" And yeah, I paid for the coaching call, and from there, he just made me more efficient. He said, "How much are you charging for ceramic coating?" And the minute I told him $500, he said, "Change it right now." He said, "You're too low." He said, "One, you're probably not booking a lot of customers," because it was true. I wasn't really booking a lot either. And he said, "Because you're on the cheaper end." And once I started looking around, he said, "Do research, look around your area and see how much people are charging. And then from there, just base it on there." He said, "You should be charging between this much and this much." I forgot what was the price. Example was you should be charging a minimum of $1,000 to $2,000, depending whether it's a one step or a two step. That's it. My menu was too big. He said, "You have way too much on your menu." I had like 6 different ceramic coating packages. I had like 6 different interiors, 7 different exteriors. He said, "Keep it simple so that way the customer can actually just see the difference." And what ended up changing my business the most of what Ivan coached me, he said, "Just offer one interior detail. That's it." He said, "You should only offer one true interior detail," because I was finding out we weren't profitable. We were just doing like $100 mini interior details, for example, just vacuum and wipe down the seats. And it will take my wife and I 30 minutes, but to take out the vacuum, to take out the chemicals and stuff, we're already wasting 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We'll do that vehicle. And then from there, um, we just found out we're only making like $20 an hour at that point. And it's not good for the body, especially for the interior. I don't know how Carlos does it, but obviously Carlos and he doesn't offer basic details either. But that's when I found out that just offer one true deep interior detail. Um, Charge, 350, 400, whatever the cost basis is, and you do it in 2 hours and you give the customer what it is. This is the only package that you get. From here, if you want, you could go into a maintenance plan, but if you just want an interior detail, this is the only one we offer. If you want something else, then guess what? Go to the car wash down the street, costs 30, 40 bucks, whatever they charge, and go on with your day. That's what you want. You want something basic, go with them. And that's one of the true coaching things that I really enjoyed and appreciate from Ivan, that he ended up just saying, he just said, look, this is what you should be charging. You should be in this range. And that's it. He said, you want to eliminate the cheap people, because that's the trap that I was falling in. The trap that somebody would always want something for less. You get what I'm saying? Um, if I charge 60, the customer wants it for 40. If you charge 10, he wants it for 5. If you say you do it for free, he said, can you give him a, you know, it's like, bro, if you do his car for free, he wants you to do his wife's car for free. And then it just goes down the list. It doesn't matter what you charge. That's how customers are. And the customer that truly values your work are the customers that just don't ask. And I've came to the point of just, um, I came to the point of just grabbing just certain customers and staying within that basis. And the customers that don't question anything, like they see the process, they see what this is, and they're like, I'm paying for this. I always give them extra. Always. I always give them extra, just because, say we finish a lot quicker in time or whatever. We always give a little extra of gratitude, because that's what it comes to. Now, when somebody tries to lowball, and I've ran into this trap, example, if I'm doing a quick express polish and say it's fucking, 200 bucks or whatever. The guy tries to lowball for 150. I'm like, you know what? It's only 50 bucks. Let me try to do it quick. When the guy comes back, he's like, oh, can you touch this area up? Can you touch this one? Can you do this? Can you do that? It's like, you didn't want the full service when you started. That's not what you wanted. You asked for a low ball price, and coming up with all these extras. Oh, can you touch this up? Or I didn't see this. And that's where I ended up just knowing that just the cheaper you are, you will attract the cheaper clients and the people that want everything for less. And then as a business, that was hurting me. And what I ended up doing instead, and this was where my wife and I talked, we're like, how can we attract customers, and how can I spend less time on the phone? And the way I ended up doing that was made the YouTube channel. I told my wife, and that's the reason why I first started YouTube. I think I deleted the very old videos, but if you all go to my detailing channel, Detailing Made Simple, and go to the very first videos, I think I've deleted the other ones. It was just more of a process. I said, let me just give an example of what the vehicle could come out, because everybody has pictures. Everybody can just say, this is before, this is after, grab it from the internet, and be on your merry way. Um, my wife and I just said, let's attach a face to the business, so that way when the customer comes through, especially here in New York, I don't live in the best of neighborhoods. So when customers used to first come in, and they used to be like, oh, this is where you live. It's just a residential house. I don't feel safe. I want to go somewhere else. Or I thought it was a brick and mortar shop, and I'm just gonna go somewhere else. And from there, it was just more of like, I get it. I have my Google My Business. I only have like 4 or 5 reviews, not really fully out there. And I just needed to attach a face to the business. And that's where my YouTube channel came in. And that's how it is. That's why I'm here today. And once I attach my services to YouTube and customers were question, hey, I want this package, I would just send them the YouTube link. If they have any questions, I said, look, this is everything step by step. And then once I started attaching my face to the business, it became more relatable to the customer. And that's what ended up me being more profitable in the future, because now when I go out and greet the customer, they're like, oh, you're the same guy from YouTube. And now they feel in better hands from there. My initial goal for YouTube really wasn't to actually gain a bunch of followers. It was just more of education for my customers. And then one of my customers said, hey, can you make a review on the rinseless wash? Because I would kept telling him, get a rinseless wash, get a rinseless wash. And he said, I want you to make a video because I trust you. I don't want to see no other detailer because I want to see your process. And then from there, that's what I did. And if you watch, one of my very first educational videos was on the rinseless wash. And that was for my first, not for my first customer, but that was for one of my customers who was asking, hey, I need you to make one so that way I can follow your process step by step. And then I started getting a little bit of a following, and now we're, I'm a YouTuber at that point. I enjoy every single one. I enjoy the engagements. I enjoy the slight controversy that comes in. And when I mean controversy, is more of like just debates of, everybody has their own style. And that's one of those things where what made me enjoy detailing more afterwards, just seeing what's out there, what's better, what's new. How is this much better? How does it work for me? How does it make me more profitable? Um, and just continuing to update my resume for the next customer. And YouTube was the biggest gateway and the biggest door opening that I had to make my business grow tenfold, um, and just stop with all the continuous talk on the phone. And YouTube was the reason for that. Now I just have a YouTube channel. They ask for a service. I send them the link. I said, look, I have other customers calling. I truly appreciate your time. I know you really want to know the process, but it's better to see than hear the process. And this is myself and my wife detailing X vehicle for this service that you're asking for. And these are the results you can get. I just send them that right there. Watch a 15-minute video if they want. I just tell them you can skip. Just look at the intro, look at the before, look at the afters. And if you want to see what's going on in between, that's all up to you. And that closes the deal pretty much 75% of the time right away. They'll call back. And if they don't book, it's just more of the pricing range. But again, I'm not here to detail for everyone. But yeah, so that's pretty much the story of why I'm here, why I'm detailing, why am I doing a podcast, how the detailing made, you know, why I enjoy detailing so much. And after gaining so many subscribers like yourselves and everybody just always watching, it just makes me feel more engaging, and it just goes to show that we're always all learning. And that's pretty much it. And then if you guys want me to get on to how I met Eddie, it'll that's a fun story as well. We could do that on how Eddie and I got connected. Um, but yeah, so let's see real quick if any questions. Ulysses, I see 40 minutes on a scratch. Yep. I took it didn't take me 40 minutes to burn through that paint. I'm gonna tell you that much. I beat 6 all the way up, use the thin microfiber boss pad from the thin one from Wheels Garage, because remember that's a heavy defect removal, pretty much almost no backing whatsoever. Just I burned through that paint. I burned through that paint so bad. Also, just a quick announcement. So, like I said, starting from next week, I will be having guests on the podcast. It's more something because just the month of December is super busy for me, just for work in general. And I just don't have time to really plan and do too many questions and try to navigate everything all in around. So starting next week, I do have a guest, and the guest will be Will's Car Care. He is the DIY Tubers winner. He is the official winner for the second DIY Tuber. And we're just gonna ask him all the questions, why he chose detailing, um, and why his channel is just overall, why did he choose his style of videos. His videos are very engaging, and it's one of those things. It's just very new and refreshing for new detailers that really want to learn. He just has that nice uh, way of presenting his videos to newcomers. Let's see. For sure, Franco. Yep, I went from a 4-step to a 2-step. Yep, that's it. That's all I do. And from there, 2 steps. My wife and I, we're done with the 2-step in about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours tops. We're done. Appreciate it. Says, how do you know their reaction when they get the bill? He said your wife collects that. He gets billed. Oh man. What's going on, Joel? What's going on, Joel? And that's a fact. Cheap clients are, and Joel knows best too. He's been around for a while. He's an OG. He's been doing detailing. He's been having his business. I'm pretty sure way longer than me. But he always has great advice on his channels. I was watching him as well when he was doing details and giving all these detailing tips of why he uses these products. And he's one of the main reasons why I mostly started to do a lot of just dry extraction, in a sense, just doing steam cleaning, and that's it. And that's it. He just has his own process. And, those cheap clients will never be happy. They always want everything for free. They don't value your work. They don't value your time. And that's something that I've learned. David Boyce, give him. Yep. If they would, that's what they want. If you do a car for free, that's what they want next. They're like, yo, can you do this? He's like, I'm not gonna let you touch my car unless you touch my knob. Gorilla ladders are such a win. Oh, that's another thing. I didn't have one. Didn't have one at all. I didn't even have a step ladder, and I used to use a foldable chair to touch on the roofs, and that's what I'm doing now. Let's see. Let's see. Ghost, he said, listen to this. I had a customer give me this amazing review when I charged her $60 for an interior detail. And then when she reached out a few months later for another detail, I told her my prices have changed. She got so pissed off saying the last time you only charged me 60 and then deleted her review. So moral of the story, charge what you are worth off the bat. And that's also true, Ghost. But one of those things is, how much do you know? Like, do you know your worth off the bat? Everything's trial and error. Everything is experience. And that's one of those things. I've lost a bunch of customers. I've lost all my $500 ceramic coating customers. Literally, I've lost every single one. Once I say, I charge 1,100 now minimum for 1-step instead of doing the whole 2-step and this that. That's it. I've lost all of them. They don't value your time or your experience and stuff like that, or the quality of products that you're using now. It's just more of, you know, that's it. That's why, yeah, uh, that's about it. Just those customers um aren't your real ones. I only have 2 legit customers that stayed with me from my $500 coding packages, and they just stayed with me from then. But pretty much everyone else just went away, and pretty much everyone else that I did the basic detail for, I was charging $100, $120 inside and out, basic wash and maintenance wash. I'm not gonna say maintenance wash, but it was like a basic in and out. And I was just competing with the car wash, and I just wasn't, you know, it just wasn't sustainable for me as a business, especially being in a private residential place. And my dream isn't to detail 15 cars in one day. And that's never been my wife's dream either. It's just more of like, let's give quality work and let's make it just make the customers happy. The inside and out is like going to McDonald's, or they just that's like customers going to McDonald's. You're not gonna eat that every single day, and it's not gonna make you happy. Uh, David Boy Sock, when you trade in the Civic, I know you're picking up. I am not picking up no Integra. I am sorry. I'm not paying extra money for the same engine. Nah, you're crazy. You're crazy. Eddie was a garage door salesman in his past life. No, that's not how we met. That's not how I will get to the story once I'm done getting through these comments real quick. I will get through the story on how Eddie and I met. He said, yeah, the whole idea of charging minimum to get a bunch of clients before you raise your prices doesn't work because they won't follow you when you start. Exactly. They're not going to follow you off the bat, especially when you're charging low, but you don't know your worth. And once you start to find out this is how much people charge, this is why you should be charging this way. And like I said, the best thing I had was that one-on-one coaching call with Ivan. And once he broke down everything on like insurance of the company and why you should be charging this much, he took the time to go, line by line on, and that's why he is who he is. That's why he's a legend. That's why he is successful. And that's about it. And without his coaching and his guidance from that first day, literally from that day to 3 months later, I saw such an exponential growth, and my wife and I were much happier. We weren't exhausted, we weren't beat down, because again, I still have my own personal career. And the reason why I still have my own personal career is more for health insurance wise, and obviously saving for 401k. It's always good to have extra money. And detailing is something that I really do in just the weekend mainly. He says, Ghost, I'm actually confused how Eileen didn't win. Can someone actually fill me in if I'm wrong, please? Every single voting poll saw Eileen won except for one poll. Um, I I kind of saw the same thing as well, but maybe it was more of just the context of the videos and the frequent posts. Eileen is great. She has her own YouTube channel as well. Um, but there can only be one winner, and it's just more on. I think the DIY tuber is how the education process comes across, not necessarily. You know what? Let me not speak on it because I don't want to. I truly don't know, but if I remember correctly, as a DIY tuber, it's more of like, um the education process thing or whatever. I don't know. So, but yeah, that's all I really know. Congrats, bro. I was voting for Eileen, not gonna lie. Yeah, Eileen is already she's popular. She's a great detailer as well, and that's one of those things. You know, just more on, I guess, how the videos came across, and probably as a collective, how much videos were put out or pumped out could be another aspect. I got the mid slide. On the next auto fiber. Let's see. Let's see. Becca, I like Will's channel, but I voted for Harley. Will has a great channel. When you actually start watching Will's videos, it's very engaging as well, and especially for those newcomers, for those new detailers trying to get in, and he just has that tutorial type of music in the background, and has a he has a unique style. He has the beginner. To me, Will has the beginner style of detailing videos, of how-to videos, like legit, like everything just looks like from beginning to end is, you know, how to, literally like how you see every single how-to video. That's how he does it. Eileen is more for again, is like myself. For me, is when I watch Eileen, is I'm a professional detailer off rip, so everything she does, I'm already following what she's doing ASAP. Let's see. Yes, and that's from my understanding. The online voting is only one part of, yep, that is correct. That is from what I read as well. When DIY comes out with their new apply for their next one, they tell you all the details before you even apply on how the voting process kind of goes and stuff like that if you're applying to be a DIY tuber. Let's see. Sock, have I ever tried the CSI polishes? If yes, what do I think of it? Yes, I've actually did try the CSI polishes, their Ceram X polish. I've tried only their second one. Apparently, there's a third revision that came out. I tried the first one and the second one. It's a very good polish. The only thing I don't like about it, and this is just for me, is it kind of gets dusty and it dries up. But the point of that polish is you could just grab a damp, wet rag, and it kind of, once you wipe it across the surface, or even if you use rinseless, it turns kind of into soap and it just rinses off just fine. And then you can coat right over it if you want. But I just don't like the dust factor. I don't like the way it leaves the pads. But overall, it's a good, it's good technology. But apparently a third one came out. And yeah. John Weber, how long did you do the under the table hustle before you had to file for Uncle Sam, or did you tax and insurance right away? No. So I started, like I said, 2017, when my pops had his car, and that's when I started getting into detailing for friends and family. Was doing it just as a hustle, and it wasn't like I was doing 10 vehicles a day or 10 vehicles. I was probably doing only like 2 to 3 vehicles a month tops, and that was just again basic in and out. The max we did was clay bar on the outside. I put a ceiling at the end, and that's all we did. And that was just my wife's and I weekend hobby from there. That's all we did. Um, 2020 was official when I said, "Let me go for Uncle Sam." And one little detail of that is the reason why I did that too as well. I said, you know what, let me build my customer base. Let's make this as official business, because they were giving that PPE check, and I was like, it could be my wife and I. We could get that PPE check, and yeah, they were like, oh, it's only for people who has had a business prior to 2020 will receive that. I was like, damn it, whatever, and I still went on with it. Um, and we enjoy detailing business. We were gonna do it regardless. But yeah, that's pretty much the story. 2020 was like, yeah, let's make it official. Let's get this PPE check, and that's it. Because I was still working part time at that time. Uh, Facts. Eileen pumps out a whole bunch of IG clips. Look, a lot of people need to understand the DIY tour, whether you win or loss, is not really a huge factor. It's more of just the point of the DIY tuber is to help grow other people's channels, and that's pretty much what that whole channel was made for. Obviously there will be a winner regardless. There has to, when there's a winner there's a loser, but the main point of the DIY tuber, and if I remember correctly from the very first one, they said is to help others between, I think it's like 200 subscribers to, I think the max is 5,000, where you can apply to help you get exposure. And that's one of the greatest things that DIY detail is doing, is exposure help expose you as a detailer and as a content creator to the rest of the community. And that's one of the best things that you can ask for. um that's it. That's all I could say. Says oh yeah, Eileen did great, she's winner in our hearts. Yeah, like I said, the whole point of DIY tuber is to help the other channels keep growing, and exponentially help grow their channel, so that way it's right there in people's feeds. It's like, oh, Ivan supports this, DIY Detail supports these channels. Let's take a watch. Nothing feels better than having a bigger channel support smaller channels. Does my wife have another job? No, she's a stay-at-home mom. 2021 was where she did have a job, but 2021 was where our daughter was born, and she's been a stay-at-home mom ever since because I truly feel it's better to have one parent at home than having somebody else take care of your own child. Um, so I just ended up just working, and then obviously we detail from home for sure. Ivan's business videos are great. Even on his Ivan LaCroix's channel, like a business academy channel, has great business advice, and that's what we should be doing. Sock, do you have and tried a true pad polish combo for one steps that you find work 85 to 95% of the time? I only really have one biggest to me that I could say one. All right, the best to me, the best, and I've been saying this already for many, many times. To me, the best one-step combo that I've ever used was the 3D1 with the Eurofiber pad from from Buff and Shine. But it works on 90% of vehicles. Why I don't like the Eurofiber, and I've been asking this, but I'm guessing based on the microfiber or whatever the thing is, um, they don't make them tapered. And I've gotten to the point where, um, yeah, you get an extra what 10% defect removal, nothing too significant. But the thing with the Eurofiber pad is that it's not tapered, and once you get close to the edge, and after say you clean the pad, sometimes the pads in the back will shrivel up a little bit or curl, and the Velcro, the backing plate of the pad, and that's what I don't like. Um, so if they can change that, that'll be great. Um, 3D1 is just annoying to remove for me. And I ended up just finding out that um, the new wool pad from DIY, and that's why I used the gold standard polish all the time, is 90% of the cars are soft paint. I don't have anything else. And if I do get into harder paint, I do mix a little bit um, of compound with some DIY gold standard or any polish of that case. Just put one drop of a heavy cut compound and uh, polish to boost up the one step, so that way it finishes down nicer and get more defect removal on harder paints. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a bunch of videos on that. You will never get a full true 100%. It works for everything, but yeah, like you said, 90% of the time on softer paint to medium paint, you'll do good with that. Let's see. Where do we find the DIY tuber content? The DIY tuber content, all you have to do is scroll through DIY Details channel, and I think they have probably a playlist of the DIY tubers. But from there, they expose them or have a quick meeting video, like with a whole bunch of with all of them introducing themselves and their channels, and then from there they'll say they'll be posting vehicles. They'll be posting videos once a week, and from there that's when you go to their channels and watch them. There's not that DIY publicly post them. They'll post, I think, once a week, probably in their community feed and stuff like that, of like, hey, this, that, the third. But you're not going to see them constantly on the DIY detail personal channel every week. uh Correct, on each individual channel. Sock, have you ever had to address the color of leather fading? Have you ever tried to recolor beige or no? Uh, in terms of leather fading, once they start fading, I already let the customer know it's already wear and tear all the way. You're not going to get it back to how it was. And then I've never tried to recolor any leather, nothing with color lock or anything. West, west, west. What's going on? Let's see. What do you mean, T-Bone? I skipped you? What question? Did you ask a question? Let me see. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. I did. Sorry. Do you think brands have to start doing something different in 2025 with rinseless washes? Labo did with Preludio. My thoughts. Um, at this point in time, I just feel like rinseless washes are just overall just great. They're pretty much like pH neutral soaps. You can grab any pH neutral soap out there and it'll do just fine. Just use one that you like, use one that smells good to you because not everybody likes a cherry scent, not everybody likes a grape scent, not everybody likes a pineapple scent. Grab whatever scent, whatever thing you feel cleans better in your environment, whether it could be bugs, dirt, whatever. Um, but all in all, rinseless washes, I think we've gotten to the point of it doing amazingly well. Now for Preludio and their acidic wash is something you're not going to use all the time. And it's one of those things where I tell myself, um, even wintertime, I haven't grabbed Preludio, um, the acidic one. The most I've grabbed was just the Preludio alkaline one to get more of that dirt and grime off. But that's it. And then I'll do the contact wash with the rinseless. But even then, if you have the hose out and you have access to water, I'll just use Primus or a heavier alkaline soap and just do that and then do my hybrid rinseless wash because at the end of the day, 90% of the times when I'm cleaning my wheels and tires, and pretty much most of you are as well, you probably end up using a bucket and your garden hose. You just don't want to bring out the foam cannon or something else. So I grab Primus and an IK foamer, spray it on the car, let it dwell, rinse off all 90% of that dirt, grit, and grime, and then just go on with my rinseless. But I don't think Primus and not Primus, Preludio overall it's overall good, but it's not something that I could think can get better at this point. Let's see. That's good to know. I haven't used the Eurofiber pads in about like 3 years. Sock product of the week every week, gold standard polish. You already know. Go to the House of Rags. Use code DMS at checkout for 10% off to get 10% off your gold standard polish. Exactly, right there. Code DMS to save some change. Eileen, what's going on? J Farm. Gold standard worked for me. I didn't need 15 different compound polishes to daily. Gold standard polish works phenomenally well. It's pad dependent, cuts well, finish well. It's not something that you'll use for every two-step or whatever. If you're gonna do a two-step, just grab a compound and then finish. Sorry, technical difficulties. But yeah, I'm back. But yeah, so let me go to audio just in case. Yeah, so that's about it. 15 different polishes. Let's see, Ghost. I taped off 3 different test sections, but then realized the whole front end was PPF, so you could barely tell. Good thing of paint. Yep, you'll get that sometimes. Let me scroll back up. For sure, for sure. Eileen heard DIY detail. She came in. Definitely the real champ space. All right. So Jefferson Gold Standard was legit. Partnered it up with. Yep. gold standard does 90% of the job. I mean, if you're not doing a true two-step, that's about it. And Sam Squatch. What's going on, Sam Squatch? Thanks for tuning in. So we are 55 minutes in, and I don't think we have time. I don't wanna take up everybody's time. Um, I'll I'll chime in a little bit tomorrow after the guest that we have, which is Will. And yeah, so we'll chime in from there, and I'll chime in on how I met Eddie, and pretty much it. It's a cool little story. It's one of those things where Eddie and I just pretty much clicked right away, and when we literally only had about Eddie, how many followers you had? I think you had like 80 followers at the time, and I think I only had 100. And we were just talking about the DIY detail Rinseless wash. That's when it first came out, and I think his first time, he posted a video, and I guess it was just a sign because I think he posted a video November 28th, and that is the day one of my favorite cousins that I used to hang out all the time passed away 10 15 years ago. And yeah, I was just like, shoot, I'm like, he posted a video, I liked his vibe. I followed him, he followed me, and we just started talking from there. But yeah, uh Sock, do you have a video tomorrow? Actually, I really don't. I don't know what's been going on lately. Look, I'm gonna show you something. Let me see if I could share my screen. But first, let me share my screen. Boom. Open up my iMovie. I have this video. Dude, I have about like 6, 7 videos lined up, and I still haven't let me go to Windows, see if I could share entire screen. I can't. I have to open some preferences on here. Never mind. I do have a couple of videos lined up. I have about 6 videos. I just gotta I just gotta I just gotta do it. You met Eddie on the dating app? Nah, 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 not at all, not at all. We met on the detailing app. Sam Scotch, what's my favorite food? My favorite food is pizza with some Pepsi. Buffalo chicken pizza. So appreciate all of you for tuning in. 58 minutes in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Whole bunch of podcasts every single day. We got, again, starting from the top, and starting tomorrow is Ivan and Dogma. Then from there we have Nick at Night. Then we got Christy. Then we got Chelsea. Then we got the Funkin' Bros. Then we got a whole bunch of people lined up, and of course we got Eddie and Jamie. Just keep tuning in. I enjoy every single one of you. Thank you for taking the time to come in and use code DMS at checkout. If you guys buy anything on Thor, that's great. But yeah, so that's it. Tomorrow is not tomorrow, next week we'll have Will's car care, and then from there on we're gonna have a bunch of guests lined up, so that way we all don't get bored of just myself talking to you guys. So that's about it. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.